Welcome to the Goalbusters Expert Peak Productivity Tips podcast, where top business experts get just 7 minutes to answer 5 rapid-fire questions about what they do and how they stay productive. Each episode is packed with actionable insights to help boost your efficiency and achieve your goals. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to peak performance. Well, hello everyone. My name is Robin J. Emden, and I am the creator and author of the Get Resultsology system and a dedicated accountability coach. My mission is to empower solopreneurs to unlock their true potential, boost their income, and achieve extraordinary success by maximizing productivity, streamlining their businesses, and aligning their goals with their authentic vision and purpose. If you're ready to turn ambition into action and transform your goals into reality, you're in exactly the right place. And speaking of being in exactly the right place, I'm delighted to introduce you to my guest expert today, Mike Moll. Mike is an offers coach who helps solopreneurs charge premium pricing with their existing offers. He focuses on creating a sustainable business rather than aggressive growth by optimizing pricing and systems. He hopes to help other solopreneurs who want to create an amazing business while having time for hobbies, travel, and enjoying life. And honestly, Mike, I'm going to be hanging on your every word today. Welcome to Goalbusters.
Yeah, thanks, Robin. Thanks a lot.
It's brilliant. Whereabouts in the world are you?
So I'm located in Mexico City. I'm originally from Toronto, Canada, but I've been fully remote since 2019. So depending on the month, there's a different answer about where I am.
Wow, what a great quality of life it sounds you have there, moving around, seeing the world as well as doing some work. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. I never expected to have it this way, and now I can't see a world without it. So it's interesting.
That's brilliant. Really good. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Okay, so speaking of sharing, are we ready to do some questions?
Let's do it.
All right, let's start the clock. And there it goes. Mike, let's talk about what you do. Who is your ideal client, please?
My ideal client is a solopreneur with a service. Now, what I say is that I work with people who are in stages 3 through 7 of their business. So if you were on a scale of 10 from very beginning, first starting to, I'm selling the company, I kind of start, when you're a few years in, you're probably at about 150,000 plus in revenue. And you've got a client base and they like you, but you just feel like you're working way too much for too little money. That's where I kind of step in.
Okay, that's very clear and very precise. Thank you very much indeed. So you've alluded it already in that answer and in the introduction that I read earlier. What exactly is the problem that you solve? And I'm sure there's more than one.
Yeah. So that moment when you are in a sales pitch and in your mind you're thinking, I would really love it to be this number, and it's a higher number, and then you say the lower number out of instinct, out of protection, out of fear, whatever the thing is. I help you fix that moment.
Can you see me really leaning in really close to the screen now? Absolutely. That's a really difficult problem to solve. And you're absolutely right. It's something that happens again and again. So then what is one valuable free action that the audience can implement that will help them to solve that problem?
So the thing with pricing and the thing with increasing your pricing is you can't just do it by someone saying, hey, you should double your price today, because your subconscious doesn't have a belief, and belief is the key word, that it's worth that, because it says, hey, wait, you were charging X amount, you were charging $10. People said yes to the $10. So your value or your worth is now $10. And so to make it $20 all of a sudden, your subconscious goes, hey, wait a minute. No one's done that before. Where do you think you're going? And it actually will drag you down, and the energy transfer, the confidence transfer when you're selling at that higher price won't exist. And so to start fixing that, you actually have to have a belief that your service is worth more. And the easiest way to do it is a little exercise. I'll give you the 20-second version of it. But if you were to close your eyes and imagine your customer 9 months from the day that you speak to them about your product or your service, and start to imagine the implications of them not solving the problem that you help them solve. And all of a sudden you're saying, well, hold on, if I do something that helps them make money and they haven't reliably solved that, how much of a strain is that? How much are they staying up at night? How much are they, losing sleep, constantly stressed? Are they in a bad mood all the time? Like what happens when these things don't get solved? And you want to imagine it from a financial, from an operations standpoint, from a mindset, psychologically. If they don't find a good solution to this problem, it has really detrimental effects as time goes on. So when you start to imagine that future pacing of what this person would go through, you start to say, oh, maybe what I do has more value than I'm assigning to it. Whether it's peace of mind or whatever the case may be, but there's a lot there. So do that thought experiment. It's really powerful.
That is really powerful. I'm thinking of it right now. Now, walking in someone else's shoes and seeing the world from their perspective and how you can make a difference to that world. That's very powerful indeed.
Yeah. And then the truth is, people buy if they feel understood. They don't need to understand you, what you do, the tactical. They need to feel like you get it, right? And so you can't say, hey, you don't want to be a crappy dad because you're constantly stressed out and you're ignoring your kids. You can't say that in your marketing, of course, but you can allude to it in storytelling, talk about how other people have experienced it. There's different ways to pull it in. We don't have time to go through that, but if you imagine all these problems, you can tell them and help showcase that you understand that this is the path that they're on, without directly telling them. And it's very powerful in marketing.
Yeah, incredibly powerful. Thank you so much. Giving me goosebumps actually. So we do need to move on. So now we have a
Yeah.
better understanding of what you do. Let's dive into goal busting, the focus of this podcast, and focus on how to maximize productive time to achieve business goals. So could you share any tips or advice for someone looking to improve their productivity habits?
Absolutely. If you're anything like me, you've got a million different ideas all the time, and you just want to start picking at the next problem while you're in the middle of the current one. So for me, I work in Pomodoro sprints. So it's actually a technique. Yeah, it's a technique that's a study technique, actually. And so I turn all of my notifications off and make my phone unavailable. I set a 26-minute timer and I work in 26-minute sprints with an 8-minute break. So 8 minutes is get some water, go on Instagram, go outside, and then when you get back, alerts and notifications back off for 26 minutes. And I do that in 3 sprints in a row. And I'll usually do that twice a day. And I can usually finish all of my day's work within 4 hours.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I do. I love Pomodoros. I call them POMs. I say, oh, how many POMs am I going to do today? They're absolutely brilliant. I completely agree with you. So finally, I always love this question because I never know what's going to come up. What should I have asked you today, Mike, that I didn't? And of course,
Yeah. I think, what the question that I get is how much can I increase my price? And the truth is most people are underpriced by a minimum of 50%. But within that, they are also working 30% more than they need to. They're delivering way more stuff to the client that they didn't even ask for. We just assume we need to do it. So it's not always an increase in price, but it should be a reduction in output required to facilitate for that customer. And if you combine those two things together, increasing your price by a minimum of 50% and reducing your workload by 30, you then start to unlock profitability from both sides. And that's the minimum threshold that everybody today should be able to do.
fantastic. And in the 7 minutes, you've covered two different aspects of the same question, which is how can you increase your price, but also how much am I worth? What I do, how much am I worth with the little mind exercise you did earlier, which you could be worth a lot to some of your clients, an awful lot.
If you have the courage to step into that and you have the strategy to articulate that, then yes, absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much. So, Mike, listen, it's really impressive what you've told me today. Thank you so much. And I really would love it if people could find you. So, 2 questions. First, how can they find you? And secondly, is there like a valuable free resource that they could get from you when they find you, just to make that initial?
Yeah, absolutely. So best place to find me is Mike Moll on LinkedIn, Moll. should come up. Actually, I'm wearing this shirt in my profile, so if you're watching on video, just follow the shirt. But there's not too many of us, and so the resource is actually on my LinkedIn. You'll see it in the banner, and you'll see the link below it. And it's an offer assessment. It's a quick 5-minute free offer assessment to see where your profitability leaks are, because there's 4 places they could be coming from. So it helps you quickly identify, and it'll give you a score on how your offer ranks in the different categories, and it'll let you know like where you're losing money, and then you can go from there.
Oh, awesome. That sounds really good. Thank you so much. So go to LinkedIn. We normally send people to a website. I think you've got a website as well, but they'll get all of that if they look on LinkedIn, won't they? So that's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So Mike, that's been absolutely fantastic. You really packed it in. I feel genuinely inspired by your message and the work that you do. And I'm thrilled to bits that you came on our show today to share it with us.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on and letting us have that conversation.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you, and bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to Goalbusters. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe, rate, and review it on your favorite podcast platform. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you're ready to boost your online profits, skyrocket your productivity, crush procrastination, and see a positive change in your bank balance, all within just 30 days, this is your opportunity. Take my free 5-day challenge at www.skyrocketyourproductivitychallenge.com.